Sisterhood Shuffle Round 1. My batch that's going out is complete. The Sisterhood Shuffle is an experience that was put together by Tiffany, I will tag her, where instead of sending journals from one crafter to the next, with all the risks that go with that, we have been put into small groups, and within our groups, we are sending out to each other single pages and an interactive item. So here in round 1, we just finished it and I'm about to mail mine out. And our task was to create an About Me page and a 3x3 quilt block. So I'm finished with everything. They're going in the mail and I want to show you how I did it, what I did, what my approach was, and just tell you all the fun I had doing this. So if you are in the Sisterhood Shuffle and you are in my group 3, the Snail Mail Sirens, you're getting a sneak peek, but you don't know exactly which combination you're going to get, so it's okay. So let me go ahead and show you my About Me page, y'all, because I conceptualize it like a book. I love books. I'm a librarian by training. Books are an important part of my life. So here's my About Me page. It is a spread that I junk journaled, but then digitized. So every sister is getting the same spread. However, every sister spread has a unique element. So on the front, I have a letter to the sister, and then inside is the spread. And these are all things that relate to me and what I like. And I've described that on the front page. But what's different about each sister's book about me is one of my favorite books that I've included. I've put a different book for each sister. So in this particular one, the book that's here is Amanda Miranda by Richard Peck. And then I have a little bit of description about the book or why it resonated with me or something I liked about it. And it's on a library card, and on each card I've actually put the name and the author of the book. So every sister is getting a different book here in this spot in my book of me. Then I am including some other things. Every one of my sisters is going to get just a little bit of ephemera that I'm including, some paper pieces, a couple stickers, and I want to tell you about my quilt blocks. So what I have done is made my 18 quilt blocks using ephemera from a recent trip that I took in May to Milwaukee. So every single one of my quilt blocks is different and uses brochures and visitors guides and magazines that I picked up on my trip while I was there in Milwaukee. As many of us junk journalers do, I came home with so many visitor brochures from Milwaukee. I was there for about 5 days, had a fabulous time. And when I got home, I said, okay, I have way too much ephemera to put in my own personal junk journal. And when it was time to do this sisterhood challenge, I thought, okay, I'm going to use this ephemera to make my quilt blocks. So every single last one of these has elements of Milwaukee or Wisconsin in general on them. Okay, some of these are sticking together, so I'm hoping, okay, that's just one. They all have Milwaukee or Wisconsin elements on them and are unique. I made all of these by hand, which is what kind of took me a little bit longer because I had to make all of these quilt blocks, but this was just fun. So every sister is getting a different one of a different part of my experience in Milwaukee. I wish I would have gone to the Harley-Davidson Museum. I didn't get a chance to go there, but you see, isn't this fun to be able to do this? So those are my quilt blocks. Do you want to know what books I have in each of my About Me books? I'm going to try to go through them as quickly as possible, but I would love to know if any of the books that I'm including are books that resonate with you, books that you've read, books that are your favorites. So I just told you I had Amanda Miranda by Richard Peck. I have John Grisham's The Firm. I have... I'm going to try and go through this. Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park. I have, this one has E.L. Konigsberg from the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler. Now, when I hold up each of these, you can look up here in the corner for the book cover. So these are just some books that I've really enjoyed over the years and have read throughout my life. Stephen King, The Long Walk. That book gets to me. I am currently rereading Stephen King's The Stand. That's another one I want to reread. The Long Walk. Maurice Sendak, Pierre, little boy who didn't care about anything. I would laugh so hard at that movie, which is kind of wrong considering what happens to Pierre. V.C. Andrews, Flowers in the Attic. I read that book when I was like 11 years old. And if you know the topic of that book, you might say, ooh, Tania, really? But I love that book. Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden, one of my favorite books. And then see in this one, I have Caps for Sale. This is actually a children's book that my mother loved reading when she was young. So naturally, she had me reading it too as I was growing up. And here we have The Color of Water by James McBride. That's a story of a biracial man. He's trying to understand his identity. And all his mom would say is, you're the color of water. Oh, good book there. The Anatomy of a Motive. This is by John Douglas and Mark Olshaker. John Douglas is the original FBI profiler. And I actually had a chance to meet John Douglas many, many years ago as I was volunteering at a book event in DC. Gone with the Wind. We all know that one. That is Margaret Mitchell. I like that book for many reasons. It is a controversial book for many reasons, but still an important read. The Autobiography of Malcolm X, one of my favorite books. So all my sisters are getting a little bit of me, and everyone's getting a different book. Roots, Alex Haley. My Hobby of Genealogy and Family History. Yeah, you can pretty much guess why I love that book. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. That was a fun book to read. I've actually read all the books in that series. Then we have Flatland, A Romance of Many Dimensions. That book was published in the late 1800s. It's a geometry book that I read when I was in geometry in the 8th grade, and it's always stayed with me since. Please remember, the 1st of October. So that is a Dr. Seuss book that I really like the message behind that story. And then the last book about me that I made that includes a book, Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. So each of my sisters is getting one of these about me books with a different book in each one. Some ephemera, some stickers, and a different 3x3 quilt block. I am so excited. So they're going to be going out, and we already know what we're going to be doing for round 2. I'll do a different video about that. And I'll come back and do videos because I am starting to get the About Me pages from the other sisters in the group. Y'all, this is going to be an incredible experience. We are doing this in multiple rounds, and I am building out my Sisterhood library journal. This is where all the content's going to go from the Sisterhood Shuffle. So you can see I already have a few cards sticking out from some of the ones I've already received. So as I start building it, I will share with you. Tell me what you think. If you've read any of the books that I've shared, I definitely want to know because we have some interest in common, and I'm excited. Happy crafting!